relive my whole high school experience. So one day I was walking back from school with my friend, and because she was in the witness protection program too, and suddenly these black cars just come up swooping around us, and they turned out to be the Secret Service agents, right? And one of them was Karen from The Office, and I don't really know why it was her, but their job was to basically capture us. So we were just running and running and running, and they're chasing us all around and back into the alleys and everything, until we ran back to where we kind of started from, and I realized the keys were still in her car. So I ran into her car and started up the car, locked the door. They tried to get in and they couldn't, and I just drove off as fast as I could. So I just kept driving and driving, and unfortunately it was a pretty crappy car. It was kind of like the first car that I ever drove, like some, I don't know, 1990 Corolla that my driving instructor had, where the brakes were just so hard to press down and the acceleration was such crap, and it wouldn't go. You just had to push so hard, so every time there was a red light or something, I had to slam my foot against the brakes as hard as I could until it like skidded to a stop or something. So I tried to get out of town, but I didn't get really far when I pulled up to a stoplight near Woodside Square, where I passed this car of these sketchy looking dudes, and they're all in the car, and for some reason at that point in time I was in the passenger seat. I was still driving the car, but I was in the passenger seat, and there's nobody in the driver's seat. So the guys came and knocked on my window, and I was like, crap, like what do they want? Like, are they like some agents or something? And I realized my doors weren't locked, and I tried to lock my door as quick as I could, but instead they got in. It turns out they just wanted to steal my car. But obviously it wasn't my car, so I didn't really care, and I realized it'd be such a great way to throw people off, because I assumed that they would have a tracking device or something inside the car anyway. So I said, sure, go ahead. And I ran out of the car with my MCAT books in hand, because I was somehow carrying them the whole entire time. But unfortunately, I was kind of stupid and I wasn't thinking, so I left my laptop and my wallet inside my purse in the car. But I guess it was better for me to be safe than to have those things, right? So I ran out of the car, and then they pushed me onto the sidewalk, and then they drove off, and yeah, I wonder what happened to them after. But yeah, so I was outside Woodside Square walking around, and I needed to get home. So I knew a friend who lived near Woodside Square, and I tried to call him up, but he was really busy and he was just about to go out, so I decided I wouldn't bother him since I haven't really seen him for a really long time. So I kept walking and walking and walking, and for some reason I somehow managed to walk all the way home. Yes, all the way home to Markham. I walked that far from Woodside Square. And there my parents were worried and everything, and they were like, oh, what's going on? Are you okay? Where's your laptop and your wallet and everything? And why don't you call us? And I couldn't really explain it, but the more I thought about it, the more I was really annoyed that my laptop was there. I mean, my whole life was on my laptop, and I really wanted my wallet back. So I tried to think of ways to get it back without having any like repercussions or anything. It was some way to track down that car. But then I had a great idea. Why not call the police? Yeah, that probably wasn't the greatest idea, but I mean, if you lose something, you call the police, right? So I called the police, and they checked my car, because I need a license plate to it, and for some reason they didn't ask any other questions. They didn't ask for my ownership or anything, and I tracked it down, and they told me exactly where it was. So lucky for me, my dream ended, and I don't really know where it went from there. But that's my secret agent